the recording now, hello, this is a private session between Kaelarian and Phoenix for the Champions campaign. The setting is basically starting out with Phoenix still in the tub, technically. And then you, of course, getting out of the tub and you guys having a conversation. And then after your guys' conversation, you'll then notice said butterfly. So technically, everything that you guys had a conversation in game is canon, and this is canon. So both are relevant, both have happened. Just with small tweaks here and there, but that's kind of it. I will remain muted unless otherwise needed. I will be working on things for campaigns, so hey. If you do need me, just let me know, but I will be listening in. Do you guys want background music to the video? Not necessarily what you guys can listen to right now. I'm not going to put like rhythm on anything. It's just going to be background music for me.
I have my one song that I put on. So just like for when, like, are you asking like if there's music for when you post it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can if you want to.
Cool.
Or I don't mind if there's like nothing on, but the one that when you did that for the other one that we did with Noelle and then Asa and Noctis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That was not like that you have to use that song because that's for that scene, but you know.
No, I'm just gonna use Genshin Impact, a lot of their background noises, because I find it very nice. I think that's kind of what I used for Noelle too, but I'm just going to use it for the background for myself, so I'm going to get that started. Hopefully I can hear things. Yep. And then I'll adjust it as needed. Okay. I am muting myself. You guys are more than welcome to start talking.
So you just like are walking out of the bathroom then? Like you're I think? Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. So Kia's just sitting on the bed, just hanging out.
Nix is gonna obviously hop up on the bed. And the dog's there too, obviously. And she's gonna be like, how you doing?
How are you doing?
About as good as can be expected.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's not good then.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. Don't really know that there's anything that can really be done about it. I guess it's good that we know at least.
Maybe. Do you think there's anything you can do about it? I mean, as far as keeping out of trouble, so they don't get you.
I mean, probably not. Just because, I mean, my aunt's the one who took out the bounty, and, you know, she has connections that I can't even begin to explain.
You know why she would... Why she'd put a bounty out for you? I mean, with that sort of amount.
I mean, the only thing that I can really think of is, I mean, I guess technically, and Chelsea, tell me if I'm wrong, I'm technically basically my family owns the crystalline mines in Valentine Valley, and I'm set to inherit that. So the only thing I can think of is, for some reason, she wants to maybe have that for her in terms of like power and politics, maybe. The only way she would get it, though, is if she had a kid of her own, which she, to my knowledge, doesn't, unless she's having one.
I mean, if she doesn't have a kid, then why would she? If there's no way she can get it without having a kid, why would she want you dead? Just
maybe she's pregnant now. I don't know how long she's had the bounty out. It could be a long time, it could be recent. I don't know when she put it out.
how often do you change your look? Your hair?
When my hair starts growing out, basically.
It looked like they have been keeping track of that somehow.
It's possible. I don't know. It could be just they wanted to show me with different color hair, or it could be because they've seen the hair that I've dyed, like the colors I've dyed in my hair. I personally don't know which one it is, but it's possible.
Maybe maybe you could get. I don't know. I mean, at least our group moves around a lot, right?
Yeah, but I don't think just because, she is part of the family, like, she's still gonna have some of those ties, and if she's found me here, I don't know that she couldn't just find me anywhere I go. And remember when I had that run-in with Jinx, she kind of... Nope, that was my mother. Scratch that. I'm remembering incorrectly.
What exactly happened in that? I mean, I know Noctis had a dream. Apparently Chang had a dream.
She basically was kind of taunting me. She threw this thing at me, but I missed because Xylo came to me and told me, just run, just keep running. And then I heard my parents, I guess, like, I believe it was my mother, if I'm not mistaken, who said my last name. So they know my name.
your true last
Like-
name or what you've been going by?
Who I've been going by.
Do you think, I mean, I don't know, but do you think maybe, did you see anything else from your mother, from your family, or was it just that?
I missed that. What? Was that about that? Okay. Yeah, I don't... That's I'm pretty much what it is.
Just, the reason I ask is because I wonder if it was I have had. Do you remember when I told you about my dream that I had with Zol the first time Zol basically reached out to me? I told you I saw some people.
I don't remember.
Um, I did, and it was as if I was watching something happening through, kind of like through someone else's eyes, but it was current. It was in that moment, sort of a situation. So I wonder if maybe that's what that was. And I don't know if that would be Xylo showing you something, maybe as a warning, or if that was something else.
It, I guess it's possible in some way it could have been a warning, but it didn't feel like I was in an outside perspective. It felt like I was like there actually running.
You think you could ask Xylo about that? About the dream?
Good.
I mean, you said you heard her, so maybe she might have a little more answers as far as that.
Could be. I feel like because I kind of sort of have this I don't have a pact with her, but I have like this connection with her that she's just trying to help. I don't think it was, because she knows I want to help her. I'm sure I could ask though. Wouldn't hurt to ask.
Do you still think you'd form a pact with her? After everything we're learning?
I haven't been given any reason not to. At this point, she's helped me so much. I trust her. And, given things that I've gone through over the years, it's kind of hard for me to trust. Like, I trust you. Everyone else, it's kind of trust but verify. It's not like complete trust.
Yeah.
But I trust you, and I trust Xylo. But what if, I know that you're aware I'm trying to find her so I can give her, the thing that I found in my other dream.
Yeah.
but I just, I guess I'm not worried about forming a pact if she asks. I'm more, I guess, curious about what that means and what the process is. Like, I know that you've formed your pact.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I made my pact for reasons, and it didn't have to do with any sort of wanting this power or wanting whatever he could offer me. That's not why I took it. But the others in our group, besides Noctis is a different situation. His was basically to save his life. I don't really know if the others are aware entirely about it all. I don't know if they're thinking about it. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice. It's just I don't know. Not sure if they have reasons to take the pacts beyond them just wanting some kind of power, some different power.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I personally, I think you know me well enough at this point to know that for me, it's about, I guess, formulating from my understanding. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have a reason not to trust Xylo, and I do. And Xylo has been consistently good to me, which I don't get from everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not exactly the right person to talk to when it comes to trusting any sort of god, to be honest. Because I never trusted any gods from the start of all of this. But from what I understand, there's ones who are good. And I think that Xylo is one. I mean, from what Asta said about her.
I think she is. I believe that she is.
Maybe she can help you. I mean, she helps you in your dream. Maybe if we help her, she can help more in the future, with more than just a dream.
I mean, I suppose, but that wouldn't be my reason for, I guess, for helping her. Like, I genuinely just want to help her. I don't know if it's because of what I've gone through in the past and having to help myself through something so hard, leaving my family and feeling like I was on my own and had to just fight for everything. Finnegan didn't even want to teach me at first. Like, I had to be persistent and not take no for an answer, and I had to be my own champion, I guess, for myself. And because I went through that, I guess maybe it's hard for me to see anyone, God or not be able to do things for themselves and be seemingly not helpless, but does that make sense? Like, I just genuinely want to help.
Why didn't he want to teach you?
Oh, I don't think it was anything to do with me per se. I think maybe he was just stubborn. You know, he's got a lot of things that, like, you know, we had learned he was doing work, and he's known for, like, enchanting all these things, so I think maybe he was just stubborn and doesn't want to pass that information. Like, everyone looks for him. Looked, I guess. Present tense, because I'm another person I'm hoping we could eventually help. You know, he's so used to people coming to look for him for things he probably just didn't want to deal with that at the time.
Or maybe he doesn't want anyone else involved in that life. I mean, if they were using something against him from the start, maybe he just wouldn't wish that on anyone. Taking someone on,
No.
that would welcome him into that life, and maybe he didn't want that.
I mean, I don't know if they were using anything against him before me. If he was working with them before I was around, maybe he didn't know who they were at the time, but I genuinely think that they were using me against him because of, you know, everything that we've seen. I think that they used me, and I was the key to get him to do what they wanted him to do.
How old were you when you started working with him?
Like, about 17.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a couple years after I had left home. It just started out as me just watching him in the shop. Like, he wouldn't even let me into, like, the back of the shop for a very long time.
What was in the back of the shop? Was it just stuff that he worked with, or was it?
It was his workspace. You know, we know he was doing big things for people, and I don't know, maybe he was just private about how he went about things, or he just wanted me to prove myself. But I know that it took a while of me being around and being as stubborn as I was and determined as I was before I could prove to him that I was good enough to go back there with him.
I don't know. Hard. The information on him seems to only have just started to pop up, so. Unless, of course, I mean, I've somehow missed something, which is possible. I only just learned about him recently, but.
I don't know that we're gonna find more information soon. All I know is I'm gonna have a nice chat with Grandpa Chang. I mean, it's clear that they knew each other. You know, he had called Finnegan his friend. He wasn't aware that he was gone. And we've been on this journey for a bit of time. It just, he said they were working on something. I don't know what they were working on. Like, I have all these questions that I just don't think I'm going to find the information I need until I get to talk to him. Who knows? Maybe he can help figure everything out, and I can help Finnegan too.
I would say I agree, except for the fact that I was under the impression that I would have no answers regarding Benry at all until we got to Glory Grove. And of course, I definitely don't have all the answers that I need. I have still plenty of fucking questions. But I have been able to work some things out and get some answers, at least, before, obviously, arriving there. And I know that it might seem hard, and that you don't know where to start. But maybe there's more answers out there than you realize.
I hope so. I'm definitely going to be, you know, like I've been doing this whole time, keeping my eyes and ears open just in case something comes up. I mean, I didn't even find anything until we got back to Clover Cove.
Is there anything I should be on the lookout for? I mean, besides the name, anything you think I should focus on when it comes to what I'm looking into, or, you know, if we come across another journal with some sort of connection? Just in case. I know you're hesitant for the group to just know everything about him. So if I come across something, I would want to tell you.
I don't think that there's anything specific. The only thing that I have to go off right now is Grandpa Chang, but I don't have a way to talk to him other than the mirror. But that's in Clover Cove.
Yeah. uh, I know I just left the group for something with Noctis, but I have that dagger. And if there ever was a reason you needed to go back, or you felt you needed to, I would be willing to do that. I mean, that's part of the reason why we went back to the Hollows, because Noctis needed to check up on his home. He needed to check up on people important to him. But I'm the only one with a dagger that can allow that, so.
Yes. However, didn't you say you tried to utilize it and you wound up in Obscura?
Yeah.
I don't want to pry. I don't know much about what happened. It seemed like you came back, obviously, understandably shook up about it. I just wouldn't want you to utilize that from me because I'm being selfish, and then we wind up there again and it puts you in a bad place.
The reason, I mean, I told you how those daggers work. You have to be thinking about where you're trying to go, and you think one wrong thing and end up somewhere else.
Right.
And you have to have been the place where the dagger takes you. And technically, Noctis and I had been to Obscura by that point. And I think my mind just got a little... I just learned. I learned a lot in the garden. Because, I mean, we ended up in the gardens too, because, again, I was distracted. I learned a lot, so my mind just wasn't where it should have been. I only get 2 tries a day.
What happened in the garden? I know you said you had gone back.
When we got there, I went to visit a friend. I went to visit Ari. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. The last I heard, she and her mother had to leave their home. Fucking father. He basically he drove them out of the house, as I understand it. He made it so that it was no longer a home for Ari or her mother, And also, if Venri had been there, it would have happened to Venri too. And so I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And they were, I don't know now, but they were okay. And so we went to check up on them. But Ari told me some things that I haven't been able to tell anyone. And I'm terrified now for all fucking 3 of those in that family. Because I have Venri, who is in Glory Grove and doing who knows what, and there's 2 versions of him running around. I have Ari, who is basically on the run with her mom. And Tirith, her older brother. He's the one who found me the day I survived that attack. He found me, and he's always been good-hearted, noble. But Ari thinks that his father is trying to use him as some sort of host for Hex.
As in, Hex is in his body. Not quite yet, but that's what's wanted to be done.
That's what Ari thinks. She found symbols in her father's study where she's supposed to never go. Symbols painted on the floor. She said it looked like blood and symbols of Hex. But Noctis told me that it might have been a summoning circle. And Ari said that there were times where Tirith would be in there, and that's what she thinks that he's being used for. But now they don't know where he is.
Like he's just vanished.
I don't know. But if that's true, then I don't know what to do. And I don't know how to help. So I guess to answer your question as to what we did in the gardens, that's what we did. We just checked up on my friends, the ones that I could find, the one that I could find.
You said that there were things that you haven't been able to talk about. Was that it? Or was it more than that?
That was some of it. Are you asking just in regards to what happened while we were gone, or are you asking in general?
If there's more, I'd like to know.
There's a lot more. Um, the reason we got out of Obscura, I mean, we went from the Hollow to the Gardens in one day, and the same day we were trying to get back to the Bards, and we ended up in Obscura. And I told you can only use that dagger twice a day. That was our second try. But while we were there, really know what we could do to get out, and Fenry showed up. His future version showed up. And he basically explains that those daggers, when you have them, you're attuned to the hilt, not the blade. And switched my blade out with another blade. So we had another try to get out. And it worked. We made it back. But yeah.
So Henry was in Obscura?
He sewed up there. I think that his connection with Thanatos allows him a little bit more freedom to travel places like that. I don't know. The first time I ever saw him, I don't know if it was because he didn't want me to know that it was his future self. But back when we were at your house, when I saw him while Noctis was doing his whatever thing that half the group didn't even pay attention to. And that time, he used a dagger. But then the other times, it wasn't a dagger.
What do you mean? What was it?
He just operated. You know, it just like showed up and then disappeared. Not a dagger. So I don't know if that is Thanatos that can, give him that ability. But I mean, he was in Obscura too, and I asked him what he was doing there, and he said he goes where he needs.
Where he needs to go or where he's needed?
That's what I'm trying to figure out what he meant. I don't know. But if fucking Whether Asa and Noctis like it or not, the reason we made it out of there is because of him. Because he quits the Daggers blade.
What I don't understand, in terms of Noctis and that, is why, if that's the case, why are they constantly just not okay with him? If he basically saved them from that.
Sorry. Because I've tried to understand it myself entirely. Asa thinks that he is too far gone, that he's not himself, and he's not. I mean, he is affected by that whole thing with Thanatos. Somehow he is, but... And I've told them both this multiple times. I have seen moments where he's himself. But I don't think they like that side of him. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to fully answer it. I'd have to ask them.
What side of him? The side that might not necessarily... I don't want you to get mad at me for saying this, but might not necessarily be a good side.
The thing, I don't think that there is a side of him that isn't good. If there is something going on there, I think it's more so Thanatos than it is him. But they don't understand how hard it is. On my side.
I mean, you've known him for a long time, right?
I grew up with him. But, I don't know. Kind of got more and more distant as he was getting older. We were growing up.
So, you said you grew more distant as you got older. Do you think that... I'm really trying not to upset you. Do you think that you know this future version well enough?
I told him that I trust him, and I wanted to trust him from the start. But there are things that make me question the way things are being done. And I told him that. I don't know if he regrets his decision. Or what. I don't know what he's trying to change. He won't tell me, and I keep being told that apparently if I know, or I don't know if it's just me or if everyone knows, somehow that affects the timeline or that affects the cycle. I know that he always used to want to protect people, important people to him, so.
I was gonna ask if that's what you think it was, because I know kind of why I was worried about saying anything to you, but I know that if it were me and someone that I cared about was in trouble, I would probably do anything to help them, good or bad.
You're talking to the one who made a pact with the goddess of life. The one who hates anything having to do with gods, and yet here I am with a pact. And I didn't do it for myself.
I was gonna say I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
He also told me that because I made a pact, he has to rework a lot of things. So, apparently, it is a bad thing in ways. And I don't know what my pact has to do with that. I don't know why it has to do with me. Because if I had known that, I don't know if I would have done this.
I can understand that. I mean, it's done. The only thing we can do now is figure out what has to be done next. Just keep going. He said he's working things out on his end, yes?
Yeah, but I don't know what that is. Tried to get him to tell me and he wouldn't. So I don't know how we're even supposed to find out what the right choices are.
I hear that a lot from everybody about what's the right thing to do. But I don't think there's ever a right thing. There's things that are good in the moment, but even things that are good in the moment can turn out to be things that are not good overall. Sometimes you can even think something's right and then find out later It wasn't right in the long run.
That's what I'm scared of.
I don't think that worrying so much about what if I'm wrong is going to be beneficial in any way, because if it does end up being wrong, there's not anything you can do to change that. And it could turn out to be the best thing ever, too. You don't know until you make the decision to do it. And you have to be okay with whatever decision you make.
It's more that I know, but I don't know if I want to say it, not because I don't trust you, but because I don't know if he's listening right now. And I am terrified about some things.
You said that you're scared because of something you were told.
There have been things that have been implied. Yeah.
Tell me.
I started kind of being afraid of it. The first time that Zol came to me or started talking to me, she was talking about, like, she was warning me of what has to be done. And there have been other people that have warned me of things too. And it seems like it's always only being said to me. And that scares me.
Well, if they're only being said to you, if you share them with me, maybe I can help you work them out.
I don't think it's that easy.
Well, let me try.
Do you remember? Actually, I don't even know if Noctis said anything about this in his presentation. There's the idea of a sacrifice needing to be made. Keep the door closed or open or whatever.
Blood sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just keep being warned about that sacrifice. And I don't think anyone else is being warned about it.
What's the warning you're getting?
Just that the sacrifice is necessary, that it has to happen. There's no way around it. And if it's just being said to me,
So you're worried that whatever you choose, because I'm assuming based on what you've told me, that there's a choice for you. If you're the only one being warned, whatever choice you're going to make is going to affect something in the long run? Having to do with that?
I'm worried that the choice I already made has locked me into having to do something I don't want to do.
And what is that?
I was told that it was something that I was never able to do. That I couldn't finish the job. And I think in a way it might be a choice. But it's a choice I don't want to make.
A choice involving Venri?
Yeah.
Kind of choice.
Sacrifice. It's a blood sacrifice. And the fact that it's only being said to me is what's making me concerned and worried.
And are you sure he's the only one able to be sacrificed?
No. I don't know how it works. But I've also I think I know something I'm not supposed to know about other timelines and what apparently has to happen on this one. Going along the lines of what I said. And all I can think about is that I was warned from the start. From my first time seeing him, he told me not to make a pact, and I made a pact. I didn't listen to him. Maybe I should have.
Too late for that.
Yeah.
We'll just figure out what else we can do. It's not going to help to beat yourself up for things that have happened.
No. But I'm more concerned about the things that might have to happen. And I think maybe a part of me is thinking, if that's what has to happen, maybe it's better if I'm aware of it and ready for it.
If it helps you know that, I mean, that's something you have to work through. I don't think that that's gonna come from anyone else. As much as I'd love to just make everything better.
I know it's not that easy.
I'm not that powerful.
Just if it is what I'm thinking or what I'm being told, I guess I have two concerns, and it's if I don't do it, that means some sort of cycle or something is going to be thrown off, and that's potentially why or what he keeps trying to change. But if it is something that has to be done and I somehow can, I don't know how I'm supposed to go home to Ari.
She's your best friend.
And he's her brother.
If I feel like if she's your best friend, if she is a true best friend, and you explain to her, like you're telling me, she might not like it. I probably most likely won't like it. But I think that she might be a little bit more understanding and have a little bit more grace.
you be able to do it?
To do if I was in your shoes?
Yeah. If it was somehow Ophelia. It's not easy. And even if she were understanding, I don't know, it might make it harder. Because I don't know how I'm even supposed to be able to look at her and know that that's what happened. He was the reason that I knew he was missing in the first place. And I know how scared she is for him. She doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. She doesn't know anything about any of this. How am I supposed to go to her and tell her that I could not save him?
I don't know what I would do if it were Ophelia. You know that she's important to me. And I would probably be just as torn up about it as you. I don't even have a way to. If there was a way to, for me to talk to her, if that was the case, if there was a way for me to talk to her, I would probably respect whatever her wishes were. But at the end of the day, to me, regardless of how hard it is, what's right is right. And it doesn't matter. And this is just the way that I see it. It doesn't matter what my personal feelings are, as long as what's right is what's done. And by what's right, I mean what's good. I left my own family because I saw what evil people they are. How they were trying to manipulate me for their own benefit, like I was a toy or a pawn for them. They weren't good people. And I knew at the end of the day, if I stayed, maybe I wouldn't be good people either. So for me, what was right and what was good was to get out. And I would like to think that if it were Ophelia instead of Venri, and I had to make that choice, I would like to think that I would be able to do it regardless of whether it broke my heart or not. And maybe even take comfort in knowing that she would understand that it was for the best for everyone.
Noelle told me something. I haven't told anyone. But I know that you're concerned about Ophelia. Noelle told me if a golden child goes down, they do have second chance at life. However, you have a third of what you would normally have for if it were someone like us. So, if I died, or if you died, and someone were to use a life force to bring you back, you have 10 days to do that. Before, obviously, they're fully dead. With a golden child, you have a third of that, which means you probably have maybe 3 days. But what happens is their connection to everything on that end, their golden children abilities, their connection to those gods is severed. So they don't have that anymore. They wouldn't have access to Duska. But I think that means that they would still be alive. The only thing is that makes me hesitant about it is I'm not entirely sure if the process is still the same when it comes to bringing them back. Because that's another thing that I keep being warned about is when doing that, the process is a life for a life. When you're doing it for a normal person. So essentially, if you're going to give someone their life back, you trade another's life. So I don't know if that means it's someone that you know. I kind of talked about this in the group. I don't know if they fully understood what I was saying. I don't know if it's someone you have to know, or if it's just some random person you pull off the side of the street and you just say, hey, give me your life. Bring this person back to life. But Noelle told me that with golden children, they get a second shot at life. And I know that, I'm concerned about Ophelia too. So if she did go down, you might still have a chance. Just, it's going to depend on how that all works. And I do need to talk to Noelle about that because she says she's seen it happen. And I meant to talk to her about it, but we're asking a lot of her right now, and I don't really want to consistently be bothering her.
Yeah. I understand that because for me, I don't like relying on other people, asking them, being needy. I don't ever like asking for help. I like doing things on my own if I can figure it out.
Me too.
Why I'm quiet a lot of the time.
That's why I go off on my own, because I'd rather figure it out myself than have to share it with everyone 10,000 times if no one's listening or no one's paying attention. Easier to do it yourself. But the more the more we're learning, the more time that goes by, the more I'm kind of realizing that this can't be done alone. None of it can. As much as I hate it, we were all chosen for a reason for this. Still don't know what that reason is, but seems like all of our stories are connected somehow. That can't be by chance.
Probably not.
I do have every intention of helping Ophelia too, because, I mean, she's important to me too.
We're all connected. Do you mean just in the group? Or the people we know as well?
A couple weeks ago, I would have just said our group, but I'm starting to think it's the reason our group is connected is through the people that we know.
So
And
then...
oh, I was just gonna say I think it's because of this bloodline bullshit. Somehow.
So... I want to say it. You keep asking me about Ophelia. And I know you're concerned about Venri. I don't understand how he's restarted this cycle that he's in. But you made a comment earlier about, you know, a life for a life. Do you think that somehow maybe he's utilizing her life force somehow?
Ophelia's. I don't. Um. The whole timeline thing, the time travel thing. He has a device that allows him to travel through time. Um, I don't know how he got it, because as far as I know, in our timeline right now, Noctis' dad has it. But it's not fully complete. The one that Venri has is complete. And I do want to ask him how he has that device. But I don't know if he's going to answer that. The
I
device
hope I didn't.
needs.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Uh, the device, it needs all 12 daggers to work. And that's how he had a dagger to swap out with my blade. Because his device has the daggers.
I hope I didn't upset you by asking you about that because I don't want to make it seem like I'm accusing him because I'm not. Like I don't want you to feel like another person. I just want to cover all angles just to be prepared more than anything. If he has all 12 in the device, I guess I'm curious when he got them all.
Yeah. Me too.
And what he did to get them.
Or if Noctis' dad did something to get them. Or someone else. I don't know. I just know how it works. I also don't know, I guess I don't know if us collecting the daggers... It's strange to me because when I came across... The one time that I came across Benry from our timeline, the one that I know, he didn't seem to have any intentions of any dagger collecting or any of that. And apparently he just has a partial pact. It's not a full pact yet. So I don't know when or where something went wrong. And that's kind of why I'm so I guess anxious to get to him. But I also know that everybody else has someone that they're needing to get to and they're needing to protect or things they need to do. It's not just Fenry that's the importance. Still have missing kids that we're trying to figure out too. But it's hard for me to focus.
Definitely a lot. You can't do everything. It's too much for one person.
I know why lately I've had one goal. And it's probably not the right one, but it's what I want. So. just kind of tired of all of this champions bullshit.
Your goal. What is it?
Find him. I want to find him.
What are you gonna do when you find him?
Whatever I can do to keep him safe.
You ever consider he's from the future. He's done the timelines. I can't help but think that this is probably the same way you would have thought in past timelines. Do you think maybe that's where we've gone wrong?
I don't know. Because he did tell me one thing. He told me that in the past I didn't trust him. Which is kind of hard for me to even think.
Do you trust him now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that Asa and Noctis have met his future version, his future self. I know they would be fighting me right now for saying that, but I trust him. But I don't know if I trust Thanatos. I just don't understand why he would be trying to change things, why he would tell me that he's trying to close the gate, or tell me that, I mean, he fucking saved us from Obscura. He came and he made sure we got out. I don't understand why he would do that if I was not supposed to trust him.
Then you trust him. I don't think you need to be so concerned about anyone else's opinion on whether they trust him. That's on them. That's not on you. And don't let people tell you you're wrong about what you know for yourself. Doesn't matter who it is.
I think that the only reason that I care so much about what Asa and Noctis think about it is because, I mean, the three of us, we have done a lot together, and I helped Noctis save Asa. And they are trying to help me with Venri. They're trying to help me with the current version of him, like, trying to make sure that we find the other half of Thanatos and that, you know, maybe prevent Pact from fully happening. But then there's the part that is hard because they don't fully understand why things are so hard for me. And I would think that the two of them out of the entire group would understand.
I mean, maybe it's more than that. I know that me personally, I don't know if I've said this to you before, but I don't know for me whether I like him or not, just because I see how you struggle. And maybe they're feeling the same thing. Maybe it's not about him, but it's about you. And watching you struggle. If you guys are that close, like as a group, because of the things that you've done, they're not gonna want to see you hurting for anything. I wouldn't want to see that. People care about you. I know that it's hard for you to see that sometimes, but we really do.
Thing about that, I can't blame Venri for that, because I don't think he knows entirely how important he is to me. So it's not his fault why I act the way I do and why I react the way I do. Because I don't think he knows, and I don't think he's aware. I mean, and there's a chance his future version might know by now, because, I mean, if he's always fucking watching, it's not that hard to figure out. But, his current version, the one that I grew up with, I doubt he knows.
Would it matter to you if he did?
Mm.
What I mean by that is it important for you that he knows how you feel?
At this point, yes. Because I don't know how this is all gonna end. So maybe, even if it's for a short time. But then it's also terrifying to think of that.
You know where he is?
I know he's in Glory Grove. That's all I know right now.
Then I guess we have something else to add to the list of things to do there.
Believe me, the second we get there, probably just. If I know where he is, I know that there's things that need to be done there, but I don't think that I would be able to focus on that.
If it's important for you to have that conversation, let the rest of us take care of it. Whatever needs to be done there that you can't focus on. Or is it something that we can't do?
I mean, I don't know, Glory Grove, there's Chang's family's there.
Yeah. I already have plans to go talk to his grandfather, so it's a nice little chat.
Are you sure?
Maybe. Maybe not. Depends how I'm feeling.
I probably shouldn't say that. Never mind. Sorry. Um. Fuck. I've been trying to get Asa and Noctis to talk to each other as well. And Asa, when I spoke to him, called me out on my situation and asked me if I would speak to Venri and tell him if I had the chance. And I don't know. That's a terrifying thing to even think about. But I guess in a way, how is it fair for me to pressure those two and then me not say anything?
Trying to be very nice. But since when is anything ever fair? Not for nothing, but fair is determined by the perspective of the person feeling whether or not it's fair. What's fair to you, it's not fair to somebody else necessarily. And vice versa. difference between what's fair and what's right.
Do you think it would be right for me to tell him? It's not easy to even think about, is it?
What I think is it's not my place to say. And it's something that you have to work out.
Yeah. I don't know. What?
That's me. That's not contemplating something.
Yeah.
What to say?
Have any other questions or anything?
I have some things on my thingy. I know that we had talked about when you guys left, when we were apart for those few days. We talked about Obscura, we talked about the gardens, but what happened in the Hollow?
As far as I understand, Baba Yaga has basically locked down a part of the Hollow. There's no outgoing magic, and a lot of people who are important to both Noctis and Asa are struggling because they are in that area that is barely being given any food or supplies for survival. And it's all because of Baba Yaga. We wanted to do more, but it's not doable right now. At least we're not strong enough to go up against fucking God. That's the most I know. Talking to them might be better because of their home.
Right. I have a weird question. I don't know. Oh, Chelsea, would I be able to differentiate that, the garbled stuff? Would I be able to differentiate whether it was from Noctis or Key? No? Okay. So then Phoenix is gonna ask Key, she's gonna be like, I know it's a weird question, but while you guys were gone, I heard kind of a garbled message. You said there was no outgoing magic from the hollow. Did you guys try reaching out?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he tried it a couple times, not necessarily to you, but his book, he tried. One of them was in Obscura, and one of them was in the Hollow, and he tried, and I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened, but the fact that there was no outgoing magic definitely affected it.
You said he tried. Do you know what he was trying to tell me at that point?
I don't I don't think I was paying attention to what he was writing. I just witnessed him closing the book, and he basically threw it on the floor. And then he said that he needed to talk to Asa and I, and explained that something weird happened.
So I'm just making a note for the off chance that I end up talking to Noctis.
Think you should talk to him and Asa. I mean, I know Noctis has been.
A grump?
Yeah. But he also has had a lot happen. More than he tells us. More than he tells the group.
Well, I mean, I've talked to him before, but I don't talk to him nearly as often as you. And knowing now that there is, those concerns with the Hollow and a little bit more of kind of what happened from your perspective anyways, and the things that you feel like he's struggling with, like it makes more sense.
Just,
Why he would be grumpy.
just know he's difficult. And I mean that not in a bad way. But I've tried to get him to talk to me, and he just doesn't. And I'm sure he'll answer the important questions. But as far as talking about how it affects him,
Not a feelings person.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the only person he can really talk to is Asa, or does talk to is Asa, or if they even. I mean, well, fuck, they don't really communicate with each other very well, but I don't know.
I'll try to be less abrasive towards him. I can't sit here and tell people to be understanding and not be understanding myself.
I think I understand why he reacted the way he did when we weren't saying what was going on with you. I know that it's frustrating for him to have the group constantly questioning us on what we've been doing and what we've been up to, and we need answers because the two of you ran off and did this, or the three of you ran off and did this. Why aren't you talking to us? But the second that it's someone else in the group and they're allowed to stay quiet, that's why he's frustrated. But I don't think he fully realizes this wasn't something having to do with what's going on with the puzzle we're trying to solve. I don't think he realizes that this has to do with you yourself.
I got upset with him because he made that comment as if I've never, like, I kept secrets from him, is how I took that. Like, I had kept something from him. When he came to me and asked me in private with a picture of me, that missing persons photo, he asked me, "Is this you?" I didn't hesitate. I told him, "Yeah, it is." I also told him that my family is no good. I told him maybe not everything that I've told you, but he knows more than the rest of the group. I might not have gone out with you guys and done all of these things, but I shared with him, and for him to say that, I took offense to that. It kind of makes me not want to share with him if that's how he sees it. Like, if he's gonna sit here and say that I'm not sharing with him when I have, and I shared something that apparently can get me killed now that I know there's a bounty on my head, why am I gonna share anything? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I get it. Because I was
It's
pissed
not
at him too. I
like
know,
it's not
but it is.
because
It is, but it isn't. It's a complicated situation because I understand both sides of it. Maybe because I know what it was that you just witnessed, and so I don't expect you to tell everyone ever. But I also understand why he would be frustrated. I agree that, I mean, in the group, whenever everyone else is yelling at us, you never do.
I don't.
And you don't hound us for questions. You've never accused us of being sketchy or untrustworthy. And so that's why I got so defensive for you. Because I know that if it was a similar situation in his side, there's all of us have certain things that the whole group doesn't know about us. And I think on that side, that's what he needs to respect. And I want to try talking to him about that because he lashed out at me.
Yeah.
But he's also, like the rest of us, stressed. And I think he's more scared than he wants to admit about some things.
Maybe. I just really wanted to pour tea over his head.
Honestly, I kind of wish that would have worked.
Sorry, I had one too many.
It's okay.
2.5 too many.
You're small. It's fine. Just I don't know. I don't know when I'm talking to him again either now at this point. I'll talk to him eventually, obviously, but in my opinion, I didn't do anything wrong on this side, so I have nothing to apologize for. And you didn't do anything wrong either.
Again, I think it's about perspective. Because I'm sure he thinks he didn't do anything wrong either.
Probably.
I mean, I just don't want to see at least the two of you both be so stubborn that neither one of you apologizes. Like, I feel like there were probably things on both sides that were wrong to the other person, and I feel like even I owe Noctis an apology, and I hate saying that, but I behaved very irresponsible and stupid. And there's nobody to blame for that but me. And I took it out on him because I was being, in the moment, selfish and thinking of no one but myself. And I don't do that. I don't like to do that. Clearly do because I did.
It is okay to be selfish sometimes, you know. And you said to me that I can't do it all. You can't do it all either. You can't take all of our burdens on your shoulders. I mean, I know you want to help. And you can help. But you also can't expect yourself to only be selfless. You do have to think of yourself at times.
I do, upon occasion. Think about myself. I don't necessarily feel guilty about it every time. It comes back to what we talked about earlier, and determining whether or not being selfish for me is the right thing overall. It was probably completely selfish in the moment when I just up and left my family, my friend. Like, I just left. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I didn't want anybody to know. In hindsight, I still think that it was the right decision, though. Even if it was me being selfish, because I can't deal with this and I'm not going to deal with this. I don't think that I don't think that you do that. I think that you are I just don't understand, because I think you are so kind and nurturing, and like, you took care of me when I was drunk, making a mess and a fool of myself, and you're always sacrificing yourself, your time, your energy to other people. And like, yes, I care about others, but I feel like it's because I was never really cared for before. Like, growing up, like, I didn't have a dynamic where I was cared for, and I don't want people to feel how that made me feel. And I wasn't anything but a pawn in a chess piece for my parents' own political agenda. And I don't, from what I know, you have, like, you didn't have that same kind of experience with your own, like, family. Like, I don't know why you are as caring and kind and nurturing as you are. Like, where did you learn that? Told you.
Chelsea. 16. Ooh. Was that the question you were talking about?
So I was like,
Good.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know if
Yes.
she's gonna be apathetic or.
Ah, I love it. 16.
I told you I would only ask it if it came up.
I'm glad it came up. 18. Five. Four. No. What did I do?
Mm-mm. What?
Oh, you sent me a thing. Oh, hang on.
I don't understand.
Okay.
What did I do?
Oh, God! Is your mic working, Chelsea?
Turn myself off from fucking mute. So now people can hear me on the recording.
Oh my God.
Well, there we go. Oh, technically that's her color. But I'm gonna go have it red. You feel a
Okay,
cold sensation on the back of your neck. As if someone's laying a hand on the very back. Phoenix, I need you to roll a perception, please.
Okay. That's a 7.
You see Key tense up from the feeling. You don't see anything around her, but Key feels the coldness on the back of their neck. Well. Seems someone ran into someone that took something precious from them. I can give you back a fragment of what you've lost, so you at least know who you've lost. But let's make a deal about it. What do you suppose? Do you want to remember who you forgot? You feel the cold hand, almost as if it's slipping down your arm to the wrist of where something important once was. And you feel it grip as it gets colder and colder. You're missing something important there. But it's her. You don't trust her. But she is someone that's supposed to be able to help. You can just think it, darling. You don't have to say it out loud if you don't want your dear small friend to know that you could be making a deal with me. But again, it's up to you.
She's gonna think, what sort of deal?
The dagger you receive from the crystal, you must get it and bring it to him.
Why?
That's my deal. I don't need to tell you why. A fragment of a memory. You can at least know who they are. Who formed that pretty little face of yours. What do you think? Aren't I a generous god?
Wanna know why?
Tick tock, yes or no? I'm not going to tell you why. You don't need to know.
Would this be my only chance at remembering?
It's the only one I'm giving you. This promise also, darling, will be binding, because if I don't get it in his hands, I'll take that fragment back. Think of it like a dam. I'm opening a little bit so some water can flow. I can either break the dam or close it shut again. It's in my control, not yours. I mean, I am being rather kind, don't you think? I'm telling you not to give up your own dagger. Just the one you locate.
Part of me thinks you're telling me not to give up that dagger because I already swapped it with him.
You overthink things way too much. The dagger for a fragment of your memory.
How am I supposed to convince the group to do that? They won't give it to me.
You're clever enough to figure it out. Steal it. Oh, and this little deal is just between us. Phoenix, roll insight.
Purple or gold? Purple or gold? I'm using the gold. Oh yeah. 22.
Key's having a chat with someone. Their expression is none too happy. That silence right now that's happening, it's deafening to you. I need you to roll a d20.
Me?
Yep.
17.
Roll a d8.
Ah, fuck. Please. 10. Glad I pulled this bag out.
For a second, I thought you were getting it from like inside your like chest area. I was like, what? Yeah.
No. What the fuck? Oh. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. The diamond, right?
Yeah, it looks like a little diamond thingy.
Glad I brought this out because this has been put away for months. All right. Straight D8.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Nope. Okay. Oh, seems like someone else is trying to interfere with this party just a little bit. Come on, Kilarian. What's your choice? I won't be here all day, and once I leave, I leave.
Can't.
Then you deserve to forget. Is that your final answer?
Can't.
Then revel in it. And she's gone. The coldness lifting off of your body, and you're starting to feel warm a little bit. But you feel somewhat of an ache in the pit of your stomach, as if someone's screaming out your name, but you can't hear them.
Oh no.
You're not sure if Thanatos will even allow you to have your memory back at this point. Your question is, who made you the way that you are? You can't answer because you don't know. And you had a chance for it, but you let it go.
Okay, so I guess she just looks at Phoenix and is like, I don't know.
So, are you okay? Because you got really tense there.
Chelsea, can I tell her? Or, because Okay. Do you remember when I said I didn't trust Thanatos?
Yes.
She just tried to make me an offer.
Okay. What kind of offer?
She wanted me to give the dagger that that our group is trying to find here. She wanted me to give up. She wants it.
So,
If I did that, she would have given me something. I would remember something.
you mean the thing, whatever it is that you're forgetting?
I think so.
And you gave up the chance to get your memory back? What why would you do that?
I said I didn't trust her. I don't know.
Isn't Henry connected to Thanatos? You said earlier that you didn't trust Venri in past timelines. Do you think because of his this connection that he has that counts as not trusting him because you don't trust her?
I don't want to think about that.
Okay.
I don't know if what I just did is good or bad.
And you don't think that you'll get another chance?
I don't know. I I was thinking about Zol told me I needed to find the other half of Thanatos, and I guess they've been trying to do that for a while. They haven't been able to find her. But she told me that the other half of Thanatos might be what can help me. And I don't know if I don't know. I was thinking that maybe if I could find that other half, that I still might have a chance at remembering.
But one thing's for certain, then. Thanatos wants that dagger.
I tried. She wouldn't tell me why.
Does it matter why? I mean, I don't claim to know how all of this works. I'm just saying that, somehow Venri got those daggers. How do you know that's not how Venri gets that?
I mean, not giving it to her.
She wanted you to give it to her?
She said to give it to him.
Him as in... As in who?
I would assume she means Venri.
You said that you trust Venri.
I do.
So regardless of... From where I'm sitting, then, if you trust Venri, it doesn't matter then what Thanatos wants, because Venri's gonna do the right thing, no?
I would hope that he would.
So...
But if she somehow... If she has this control over him, that's what I mean when I say that there are moments that I see him and moments where it's not entirely him. I don't know, he looks tired and miserable. I think, as I understand it, the way to help him is to find the correct body for Thanatos so it doesn't have to be him. And I don't know if that's what he's trying to change or what. I don't know what Thanatos wanted with that dagger. I don't know what it could do. I don't know if it's good that we have them or if it's bad. If it's better he has them or if we have them.
And he hasn't given you any inclination as to... You just know that he has them. Future. Did Thanatos wants you to give the dagger to future or current?
He didn't say. And I wondered the same thing. But if she wanted me to bring it to his current timeline version, I don't know if that's a start to all of this. I I don't know.
Maybe it was. If he's...
He's made in our timeline. He's made a partial pact with her. And as far as I understand, he has a certain amount of time to find a body for her, or he becomes that body because he's strong enough to take it. But I don't know if Thanatos is wanting him to do anything else for her. I don't know if I would have done it if it was him that showed up instead of her. But I also know that if I even made the agreement, there would be no way I could do it. The group wouldn't give me the dagger. I already have a dagger.
Hi. How you doing?
I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
Why?
She told me not to.
I don't think that would have mattered. I trust you to the point where I would, if you were just like, hey, I need to do this. Not tell me why. Just be like, I need to do this. Or even if we got the dagger, I could have been like, hey, I have this thing. Let me hold it. And then I would have given it to you.
And then the blame would go to you.
Okay. I haven't gotten blamed for anything this whole time.
What if you... What if you shouldn't trust me? What if choices like that?
What do you mean?
It,
What do you mean shouldn't trust you? Does not compute.
I mean, there are certain choices that I would make if it involves certain things. And I don't know if I, at this point, even trust myself to make the right choices.
I trust you. Nothing that you tell me is gonna change that. If let's say in other timelines you did take that deal. And it did start this, like you're worried about. He wants you to change something. Either it did, and he wants you not to do it, or it didn't, but he wants you to. How do we know?
We can't know, apparently. I can't know.
I was gonna say none of us, or just you?
As far as I know, the only thing that's been said is I can't know. But again, that just goes back to I don't fucking understand why. Because if there's something that needs to be changed, something that I keep doing, I keep fucking up, why can't I know how I can change that?
I don't know how that works. I don't know if there's a way for me to know how that works. But do you think you would be given the same deal again?
Don't know, but I doubt it. What am I supposed to do? Just say, sorry, I didn't mean it. Don't think it works that way.
If you don't think you're going to be given another opportunity to make that choice, then the only thing that can be done is, as I said earlier, accept the choice that we've made, that you made, and figure out how to move forward from this point with what we have in front of us.
Part of me wants to know who I'm forgetting. But the other part is thinking that that's not the most important thing that's going on right now.
I think we do know one thing, though. We've, regardless of whether or not we bring it and do what she wanted, we need to make sure that one of us gets it.
You're not gonna give it to me.
I already gave you the solution to that one. I haven't given most of them a reason not to trust me, I don't feel. And with everything that just happened, if I'm honest with them about that, maybe they'll trust me enough to hold it.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe I don't need to go as far as telling them all my business, but at this point, I don't think it matters whether or not they know that I have a bounty.
They're all aware of mine, so if someone starts, following us, could always say it's my fault.
But that's the thing. Like, with what you just told me, I don't know that. It's weird. My problems don't seem as big now. If that makes sense.
I think a lot of this is because I did go looking for a lot of things and I ran into a lot of trouble, so I did the bounty I stole from my fucking leader. Brought it on myself.
What did you steal?
I never told you. I stole a letter that was addressed to me. It was from Venri.
Okay, if it was addressed to you, how is that stealing?
She had it in her office, locked away in her desk. Technically, she intercepted it somehow, or somehow ended up in her hands. But the whole seems like forever ago. The whole reason I started questioning things when it came to the system and the new gods. That's what was in that letter. I'm gonna search for it because she would pull it out and show you. So I'm just gonna.
I was gonna be like, what did it say?
It said basically. It basically said that he was writing to me as a precaution to not trust the leaders and not trust the new gods, and that the attack that happened, there were other occurrences. It wasn't just my attack that I experienced. And it was always in the same location, and he told me he was looking into the attacks. And told me to find people known as the Timekeepers and that they'll help. However, I really don't know if I fully trust the Timekeepers anymore, since you know where we stand with Father Time. And then he said, this is all bigger than us. And I'm not gonna lie, that is all off the top of my head because I'm still searching for it. Here we go. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna send it to you now. Because in my brain, she would have pulled it out to show it to you, so. I know for a fact that this was sent by Venri from my timeline, the Venri I grew up with. I spoke to him about it in Duska. He said he sent 3. I only found this one. Which he said this was the biggest one, but the other one, the other 2, I guess, basically were saying where he was, what he was doing, and I guess one of them asked if I would go to him.
So that's a hot spot for something. That space.
I think what I saw was a creature of Obscura, or one of those shadow things that's controlled by those shackles that we have come across on occasion. But he seems to think that my situation wasn't the only one.
And you told me before you don't know who got you out of there, how you got moved to a different place, how you woke up somewhere completely different.
I don't know how I got moved, no. I know Kareth found me. I woke up, and then I remember telling him I saw something. I remember saying that I needed to warn others, and then I passed out again. I guess I was out for another couple days. But I was not anywhere near where I should have been when I woke up. Where Kirith found me, strange that I was there.
The thing is, what's kind of in the pit of my stomach is just like, you said you don't know how you got moved, who moved you. You got these letters from Venri. Is there any chance it could have been Venri?
I'm not gonna lie, that has been something that I have wondered since I've learned that there has been 2 versions of him. But I don't know.
It's just, you had told me earlier that he has that device with the daggers to help him travel through time or what have you. With the it still wouldn't make sense why you'd be, even if he came to save you using, like, future Benry came to save you using that, it doesn't, I wouldn't assume that would move your location if it's just time. Like, how would you be somewhere else? There's not a way to travel through, like, Did Noelle ever tell you how the notorious Nook is able to go from realm to realm the way it does?
I mean, I know it's her own dimension that she's created, basically. She has that clock unifying each realm.
Do you think that that contraption that he has somehow allows him to travel through both? Similar to like Noelle's shop, how it travels?
I have no idea.
Where is the button? Oh, there it is.
All right, and your Arcana as well.
Sorry, it just that one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nice.
Tasha, based on your intellect, you would understand that Noelle's shop is roughly based on the same type of magic that the dagger is. But hers seems to be more unlimited, as your singular one is limited. You would also understand that the magical item, the time one, seems to also be somewhat unlimited. Phoenix, with your arcane knowledge, you would understand that the magical item that is in Noelle's shop is old magic. So her shop came in existence probably about, if not at the same time as the daggers and the godly item. So she made this a long time ago. You would understand that the daggers have a limited magic use to them because of the type of magic that they are, as it is considered forbidden, quote unquote. You would understand that by having multiple daggers probably then would give you more uses. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have multiple daggers on your person that you couldn't use them multiple times. So the more daggers someone has, the more apt they're able to go wherever they need to, is kind of what you're kind of getting the idea of. Because technically you can have a whole bunch of daggers attuned to you, but if the main attunement is through a hilt, not the blade, but the blades are the thing with the magic, just swap them out.
I have no idea. haven't exactly I do think about that day, but I haven't exactly thought about that day, if that makes sense.
Like, it's hard for you to think about, kind of thing.
Hard, but it also goes back to it's not my first concern. But I did have plans of asking Kareth more about it when I saw him again, but now I don't know if I'm even fucking gonna get that chance. Honestly, he would be the best one to talk to, I think, since he was the one that found me. I don't know if he saw anything or if he witnessed anything. I haven't asked Venri about it yet because I still have so many other questions for him that I have to figure out how to ask him.
Just rip off the Band-Aid. It seems to me that whatever it is very important.
I would say it's about the same level of importance as finding information regarding Finnegan. So when you say that's not as much of a problem, I disagree. I think it's just as important.
We'll get there. Like I said earlier, we can't do everything, but I think that maybe what happened to you, even though you don't see it as the most important thing, I think that maybe it is a little bit more important than you're giving it credit for. And it might connect a lot of dots in terms of the big picture.
Maybe. Butterfly.
I'm gonna start interjecting at this point because you guys actually have made 3 hours for this
I was gonna say-
conversation, which your guys' break for this time period was 3 hours. So you guys would then transfer into the main campaign of Key spotting the butterfly, and then you guys following it, being like, "What the fuck are you?" kind of thing. But man, good conversation. I made you cry.
No, no.
I don't know if you saw that, but you made me cry. I was like, nope.
Yeah. So, lots of
Not doing
tears
it.
shed. That's always a good time, though, when cries happen.
Yeah, it's when I'm fully in the character's mindset. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. She's gonna cry.
I will say, I'm honestly surprised you didn't make the deal. I am honestly surprised. Good for you. Now I get to mark things off on the tree.
Oh no! Fuck! I don't know if that's good or bad!
Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to end this recording. I'm going to stop the recording now. Recording